Hey everybody, this is Patriots Worldwide, and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going to talk about our past two victories. Yeah, two consecutive victories, can you believe it? Against the Carolina Panthers and our division rivals, the Buffalo Bills. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it and begin. For starters, week 4 against the Panthers, against Carolina, it was a great game. A great game for Drake May and a great game for the team, great for the fans, great for everybody, except Carolina. Funny enough, the game started off very sluggish for New England. Bryce Young, as bad as he is, and I don't even like saying that because statistically he's not bad. I just am not a big fan of him, and I do not think he's as good as a quarterback as people want to believe. He looked really good against our defense in his first drive. Carolina's opening drive resulted in a touchdown, and they missed the extra point, so we were down 6-0. It was very frustrating, and a lot of people were rapidly quitting, which, again, some people do, some people don't. It's fine, I understand. Overreactions are a given as a sports fan, especially a Patriots fan. After a couple of possessions that all resulted in punts, the Panthers finally punted to Marcus Jones around 5:45 in the first quarter, and that is just something you don't do. You don't punt to Marcus Jones, you don't tug on Superman's cape, you know the rest. Marcus Jones on the 12-yard line, instead of calling for the fair catch like everybody thought he would, he just took off. He juked his way around special teams. Next thing you know, he's in the end zone. 88-yard touchdown, and the Patriots take the lead on a successful extra point by rookie kicker Andy Borregales. That was just a magical moment, and it really got the momentum going for New England. And then following that drive, the next time we were on offense, everything clicked. Everything was so different. Compared to how people were reacting in the first drive, you would think the game was long gone, but it was only the first quarter. We took care of business, and we hit on all cylinders. To begin the second quarter, the Patriots were in the red zone. Around 12 yards from the pylon, Drake May took the ball, rolled out to his left, and then realized, wait a second, I'm Drake May. I could just do this myself. And you know, as a Carolina Panthers fan, Drake May was just thinking about this all week and trying to figure out ways to get into that end zone. As soon as he crossed that pylon, untouched by the way, he hit the very famous, very iconic Cam Newton Superman celebration. It was so fun to see it. It brought back good memories of the 2020 season when it was just fun football and good vibes all around. So that was fun. On the following drive, the Patriots defense stepped up and only allowed 2 yards. The first being a 2-yard rush from Carolina's offense. The second, Bryce Young scrambled to his left and must have tripped himself, and he was pushed down by multiple defenders, which was credited to the defense for a sack. And then finally, there was a pass breakup from the young rookie Craig Woodson. Carolina trotted out their field goal team and ultimately missed the kick, which New England's defense stepped up great, not allowing any points at all, and it was really a fun way to cap off that Cam Newton touchdown celebration by Drake May. And speaking of Drake, he's already back on the field, and he's hooking up with his new wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. Diggs himself had a great game this week, catching 6 of the 7 passes thrown his way for 101 yards. Stephon Diggs recorded his first 100-yard game as a Patriot, and we know there are many more to come for this season. And overall, it was just very exciting to see the chemistry between Drake May and Stephon Diggs continue to grow and develop, and we know that these two are just going to wreak havoc as the year goes on. And to think, less than a year ago, Stephon Diggs tore his ACL and should not be playing right now. The guy just isn't human. To cap off the drive, rookie running back TreVeyon Henderson got into the end zone for the very first time in his young and hopefully very long NFL career. The only thing that really upsets me about this is the fact that he is not starting over Ramondre Stevenson. I know it'll happen soon enough that we will see TreVeyon Henderson's name at the top of the running back depth chart. I'm just hoping we see that within the next week or two. But man, it was a great moment, and hopefully we see that moment again and again as his career rolls on with New England. On the following drive, our defense forces another punt by Panthers' Sam Martin. And Marcus Jones is back to return the punt again, previously having an 87-yard return. I know earlier I said 88. I made a mistake. I apologize. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Marcus Jones fields the punt from our 25-yard line, and he almost does it again. We couldn't believe it. He shifts his way to the left. No one's in front of him. He just keeps running and running. We think he's going to go all the way, have another long punt return. And out of all people, Sam Martin, the punter, gave me flashbacks to Adam Vinatieri, grabbed Marcus by the damn shoelaces and tripped him up inside the Carolinas 15. I couldn't believe it. He was right there. It was so frustrating. It was filled with laughter and then just anger because he was right there. He could have had another one. But on that punt return, Marcus Jones did set the franchise record for most punt return yards. And then following that, Drake May finds Hunter Henry, who gets to basically the .5 yard line. He was so close to the goal line, he just couldn't get over. All he had to do was just fall forward, just like Demario Douglas against the Steelers a week ago, who did not play very much this game, so it kind of proved that we don't need him. We don't need him as much as we thought we did. And to end that drive, that very short-lived drive, Antonio Gibson got the 1 yard that we needed to put the Patriots up 28-6 with a huge assist by fullback Jack Westover for creating the space and the opening Gibson needed to get in. The Patriots just continued to roll following this drive as well. Up until Bryce Young got benched later into the game, the Carolina Panthers offense really did next to nothing outside of that opening drive. It always just went something like this, where the Patriots score a touchdown, give the ball to Carolina, and within 5 or maybe 7 plays later, the Panthers would be punting back to New England, which would result into another touchdown for the Pats. On the following drive, Stephon Diggs had a great first down conversion. He got wide open. I still don't see or understand how he was that open. Like I said, he's just not human. Trevion Henderson recorded another long run. He had about 15 or so yards, maybe a little more, a little less. I can't think of the exact number off the top of my head. And the drive was capped off by a Hunter Henry touchdown. This time, he was over the pylon. He was not .5 yards short, and he made sure of it. Great play, great run after catch, great throw by Drake. And the Patriots continued to roll, being up 35-6 following that touchdown. To conclude this recap against the Panthers, Bryce Young was benched in favor of Andy Dalton, and the Red Rifle came in and threw a touchdown pass in garbage time before Drake May and the offense took the field one final time, and Drake May threw his second touchdown pass of the game and his third overall, connecting with Mac Hollins. The Patriots would go on to win 42-13 in a very fun, dominating fashion, and for Mac Hollins, it is his second touchdown reception on the year, his first since Week 2 against Miami, and if you're looking at the pattern here, Mac Hollins catches a touchdown pass every 2 games, so be on the lookout for this Sunday against the Saints, as we expect to see him in the end zone again. Drake May had himself another great game on the season and had a near-perfect game against the Panthers, too, completing 14 passes on 17 throws for 203 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, giving himself an 82 completion percentage on passing, and on the ground, Drake ran the ball 3 times for 11 yards and 1 rushing touchdown, giving him 3 total touchdowns on the day, and of course, that 1 rushing touchdown gave us the iconic Cam Newton Superman Cam touchdown celebration. I think this game serves as a reminder for fans and analysts alike that you need to start putting Drake May into your top 10 conversation going forward, because this man has shown time and again this year that he is elite and he has potential to be this next elite great signal caller, not only for the Patriots, but for the league going forward. Going into this game, the world was watching. Sunday Night Football featuring the Patriots and the Bills, a division matchup to end an already great football Sunday. Everybody was watching this one, and everybody was favoring Buffalo. Going into this game throughout the week, it was very difficult to find anybody who actually believed the Patriots had a chance. That is, unless you looked in the very heart of New England. Mike Vrabel gave a speech that was so motivating and uplifting, it made everybody want to run through a brick wall. Watching all the players focusing on their coach and seeing that nothing else mattered outside of that room, listening and focusing on every word Mike Vrabel said. Every player had a serious thought in their head, and every player had a serious look on their faces. Without actually saying a word, every player shared this collective thought, which was, who says we have to go in there and lose? Why can't we go in and beat Buffalo and win? At the end of his speech, Mike Vrabel had everybody ready to run through a brick wall, and he ended it with the simple 3 words of shock the world, and that's exactly what we did. As fans, it gave us a lot of motivation, and we started chatting amongst ourselves and started having the same thought process of, why can't we do this? Who says that New England has to lose? Any football game is winnable on any given Sunday, and this proved it right there. Drake May had the game of his career, Stephon Diggs had his best game as a Patriot, and I will even say the best game of his career, just given all the storylines and circumstances. Having 10 receptions on 12 targets for 146 yards, came very close to a touchdown, but in the pregame warm-ups, Diggs is on that sideline, and he is screaming at every Patriot, everybody wearing blue. Stephon Diggs was believing in you, and he was fighting not only alongside you, he was fighting for you. This game was personal. He wanted to win it not only for himself, but for the players beside him and for the fans watching him at home and in the stadium. This game was just, it was cinematic. It was absolute cinema, as the people say. And Drake May, he just did it once again. If anybody has any doubts or questions the ability that Drake May has potential of being an elite quarterback one day, show them this game and all those thoughts will be put to bed. Despite not throwing any touchdowns, he completed 22 passes on 30 attempts for 273 yards, including some really heroic throws. There was a lot of deep passes to Stephon Diggs. There was even one where Diggs really just recreated this Antonio Brown, Julio Jones toe tapping catch. I still to this day don't understand how he physically did that. It was just beautiful. I can't say it enough. That game was beautiful. Game of the year for New England. Our biggest win as a franchise in the 2020s. Ironically, since beating Buffalo in 2021, week 13, if you remember the snowball where Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times, completing 2 passes and winning. We won 14-10. It was one of the windiest games ever recorded. And for the Patriots too, this game was just, I'm going all over the place, but there were some sloppy plays. For instance, Ramondre Stevenson had a fumble. Very, very unfortunate. I think the saddest thing of this whole game was Antonio Gibson, a promising running back, tearing his ACL, and he's done for the season, and it broke my heart watching that. I love that dude. He's so fun to watch, one of my favorite players. I love what he does for the community. Him and his family, they're just really big on and off the field. And then just seeing him walk off the field just with tears running down his face, that hurt. That hit me right in the soul. Again, I'm jumping all over the place here. Our defense looked pretty solid, but they could do a lot better. In the beginning, it seemed like Buffalo was just giving us this game. They had 2 costly turnovers that just wasn't like them. I think they were playing with too much emotion, and we were just more cool, calm, and collected. Marcus Jones had a crucial interception towards the end of the game, which shifted the momentum, which ultimately helped us win. And obviously, if it didn't happen, I don't think we'd be discussing a victory right now. So once again, the little engine that could just pulls through again. For offense, Ramondre Stevenson did have a fumble, which is not good, but in the end of the day, he did have 2 rushing touchdowns, so I guess that kind of makes up for it, but you still can't fumble the ball in critical situations. There were just a lot of positive plays all over the place. Christian Barmore had 2 tackles, had a bunch of quarterback rushes, made Allen look very uncomfortable in the pocket. Milton Williams made a big play. Our defense did recover 2 fumbles, as I said. It was, like I said, it was a very explosive game all over the place. It was very tactical, and everything just came down to coaching, and the idea of, like, anybody makes one mistake, that could cost you the game. For instance, when we subbed in Vidarian Lowe on one play, he gets an offsides penalty, pushing us back, which resulted in a punt, and we could have lost from that. But there was a point about the final 3 minutes of the game is what really defined this game, and I will say defines our season going forward. Because just under 3 minutes, we're up 20-17. We just know if we make one stop, one turnover, this is our game. We walked into the enemy's house and we planted a flag in the middle of their rug. That's what we did. That was the thought process. Buffalo ties it, and there was a little bit of time remaining. I want to say it was about 2:30, 2:13. Like it was above 2 minutes. I can't remember the exact time. I'm not gonna lie here. I do not remember the exact second. But the idea was this was Drake May's moment. And to be honest for a second, like everybody was nervous. Like it is nerve-wracking because all we have to do is make a few plays and we win. But if one thing goes wrong, it could ruin this game that we should have won. For the past 5 years as Patriots fans, we've seen these games and we've seen these plays where, oh, the Patriots just need to do this one thing and it's fumbled and it's intercepted and this happens, that happens. And it would always result in us losing. But I just had this feeling. I remember just looking around and thinking, all he has to do is get us in field goal range. It was scary. I can feel that anxiety just coming on. I remember I just put my head down. I started praying. I said a quick prayer. And then I swear, like, after I was done, I felt this feeling of just pure relief and just pure euphoria. I don't know how else to explain it. I just sat back in my chair and I said, all right, he's going to do it. This is our game. We got this. The feeling of nervousness just went away. It turned from being nervous to being confident. Because I believed all the way back in the 2024 draft process that Drake May was the quarterback that can win any team these types of games. And I needed him to prove me right. I needed him to prove a lot of people right. And this is exactly what he did. He made plays that looked like prime Aaron Rodgers against the Dallas Cowboys, finding Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, just making the right plays. And cutting down to around 17 seconds, Drake goes out to scramble, and he's getting tackled, but instead of going backwards, taking him out of field goal range, he does the smart thing by falling forward, remaining at the line of scrimmage, and keeping Andy Borregales in field goal range of 51 yards. Now, we know if the Patriots make this field goal, we win. The game is over. And I just remember, like, from my perspective, I just remember standing up, just kind of doing that coaching stature of just kind of standing there looking at the other sideline figuratively and just seeing 51 yards for the rookie. Can he do it? This is his confidence make or break moment right here. Because if you remember in Miami in week 2, Andy Borregales missed 2 crucial kicks, but he made the one that mattered. So we knew by Vrabel sending him out there that he says he doesn't only believe in his kicker, but he believes in him for the long term. And just like that, Borregales turned into Adam Vinatieri and nailed this field goal right down the middle. It couldn't have been more perfect. I would argue that he could have made that from 70. That's how perfect it was. Ice in his veins. Buffalo had the ball with 7 seconds remaining, tried to attempt a lateral pass, but they couldn't get it off in time. And the New England Patriots ended the last of the unbeaten teams, and Drake May has officially cemented himself as not only an elite quarterback, but he has definitely moved up the rankings in the top 10. And if anybody has any doubts or questions Drake May's ability or doesn't think he can be the guy that we want him to be, show them this game and all those thoughts and doubts will be put to bed. Without a doubt, like I said, the greatest victory in the 2020s since losing Tom Brady. The greatest victory since beating Buffalo in Week 13 of 2021. The Wind Bowl, where Mac Jones went 2 for 3 on passing, and Damian Harris had a long run that really helped us win the game. I miss Damian Harris. But the Patriots this past Sunday against the Bills, they instilled a new confidence in the organization and the fan base alike, and this really just set the record for our season, and this set the new tempo going forward for the confidence, and this just gave us everything we needed to have a successful season. Everything is going our way right now, and the New England Patriots have sent a message to everybody that we are back, and we put everybody on notice that we are coming for the division, but for now it's just one game at a time. And I think my favorite thing about this game not only was winning or seeing everybody just have their moments, specifically Diggs and May, but after the game, Drake May and the Patriots went into the victory tunnel, and Mike Vrabel stood there and he greeted every single player, from Drake May to Julian Ashby. Everybody got their chance to talk with coach. Everybody dapped the coach up. Everybody got to give him a hug. That's the kind of coach you want in your locker room. That's a leader. That is a player's coach. That is what we've been missing for the last few years. And I'm so thankful that we have that back in our organization. I just can't say it enough. On behalf of the fan base, I'm so proud of all these players. Drake May especially. He just does it every week. He's having these great games, and this was his moment. Okay, like this was his definitive moment as a quarterback in his young career. And this is only his second season. And if you really want to be technical, this could be considered his first rookie season now that everything is more functional. But I really sincerely hope, and I'm sure everybody else listening does, that this game-winning drive against Buffalo and this game overall is just another story in the legend of what will become of Drake May. So in conclusion to this Buffalo Bills matchup, after everything we had to endure going into this game, to quote Adam Vinatieri after winning Super Bowl 36, "We shocked the world, but we didn't shock ourselves." And I know this wasn't the traditional recap like I always do. I didn't go over every single stat or didn't break things down by plays. I just wanted to talk about the feeling I had as a fan going into this game and how I felt during the game along with many people. And just talking about all the different storylines we had to hear going into this game during the week as well, from Stephon Diggs returning to play his former team and how Buffalo was owned and ran the East since 2020. And, I respect it. I have to say it, as division rivals, they are a good football team. That you can't be bad and do what they did. However, I do believe Josh Allen is more lucky than he is good, because people seem to forget that he was on bust watch until he got Stephon Diggs. And Stephon just helped Allen unlock his potential. And I really I don't want to say this, but I don't think Allen deserved that MVP last year. He finished third in stats behind Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. But ultimately, I just feel like the NFL gave it to him because they just were tired of waiting and they were sick of him coming short every year. But with that logic, I hope Stephon Diggs can also help unlock Drake May's potential as he did with Josh Allen, because I believe Drake May will ultimately be better than Josh Allen ever was as a quarterback when it's all said and done. And I still stand by the statement and belief that Allen is more lucky than he is good. But he's good enough. If he wasn't a Buffalo Bill or a division rival, I probably would have a lot more respect to him. I'm a traditional football fan where if you're a division rival of my favorite team, I have to hate you and all your players. It's not personal. That's just how it is in my perspective. But yeah, it's always fun to see division rivals match up. But when you have a game like that, it's something you can't ask for. You can't ask for much. Like there's no higher stakes than what a Super Bowl, an AFC Championship. It's fun. It's fun every time. And for us to win that one, it was a lot more fun. And the week is better. I think all of our weeks are determined on how the Patriots play every Sunday. If we lose, it's a bad week. If we win, we could have the worst week ever. But as long as the Pats won, I don't care. Now, going into next week, we play the New Orleans Saints. We're going down to New Orleans. It's a 3-game road trip from Buffalo to New Orleans to Tennessee, which is Mike Vrabel's former team that he once coached. But for now, New Orleans, they're not the best team in the league. They are currently 1-4, and a lot of people think this might be a trap game. And I think the one thing I've learned in my life is you can't underestimate your opponent, no matter how good or bad they might be. But if our defense can just get it together, because we're going to be missing a few players, Anthony Jennings, Keon White, Jalen Hawkins, my bad. But as long as our defense, and specifically the front seven, like the pass rush, can just take care of it, Christian Barmore, Milton Williams specifically, if they can just get done and get to Rattler, all we have to do is just score some points on offense and we're chilling. If this offense can really just keep going, all we need is a Stephon Diggs touchdown and we are set. I know I did this all the way back in preseason. Given that it's in Louisiana, I really want to see Kayshon Boutte have a breakout game. And I really want to see, and I'm just calling it right now for fun, I want to see a Will Campbell touchdown because he's from New Orleans and, it's his homecoming as a rookie. What better way to celebrate than scoring your first career touchdown as a left tackle? It's not impossible. We've seen it with Nate Solder. We've seen it around the league with many players. Remember when Dontari, I don't know how to pronounce it. I was always bad with names. Dontari Poe threw a touchdown pass for the Chiefs, and he's just a defensive tackle, one of the greatest defensive tackles of our generation. But anyway, back to the Saints game. I expect another great game from Drake May, as the Saints don't have any good cornerbacks yet. Kool-Aid McKinstry, if I pronounced that name wrong, I apologize. I'm just bad with names. He's not the greatest corner, but he'll be all right, I'm sure. I just expect Drake to have another great game. I'm really hoping to see another three-piece, potentially just 3 touchdowns through the air. In a perfect world, I would like to see him throw 6 touchdowns because realistically, I don't see why he can't against that defense. I want to see Trayvon Henderson get more snaps, more plays. Like with the unfortunate and untimely injury of Antonio Gibson, even though we elevated Terrell Jennings, I think Henderson deserves to have an opportunity to start this week because, again, it's not the best defense. He'll have a good time, and if he does good, it'll help his confidence going forward. But it doesn't matter as long as we score. I would like to see Hunter Henry get in. I like to see all these players get in, and as I mentioned earlier and I alluded to, I wouldn't be surprised if Mac Hollins gets a touchdown. But in the end, I'm just going to try to lock this in. Drake May, 3 touchdown passes, no picks. I'll go a little higher and say he throws for 375, and I'm going to also throw out that he completes 25 out of 32 passes. Little high number, but who cares? We're having fun, right? On defense, I just want to see Christian Gonzalez get an interception. It would be cool to see Barmore or Milton Williams just get a strip sack. All these big plays that would just help our defense. It'd be really nice. It's going to be a good football Sunday, too. There's a lot of games around the league that I'm looking forward to. And specifically, I want to see how well Carson Wentz does on the Vikings. I want to see how Mac Jones fares on the Niners. As you know, he's 3-0 as a starter right now. Can you believe it? That's crazy. I guess the Shanahan myth, it's not even a myth anymore. Any quarterback under Shanahan will succeed no matter how good or bad you are. Just imagine if Shanahan had an elite quarterback, though. It's insane to think about. The league just won't allow it to happen. Mac plays the Buccaneers tomorrow, and I believe the Bucs will win. And yeah, but I'm getting off topic. I shouldn't be talking about other teams this much. Just going to be a good football day. And I really appreciate all you guys listening to my rants and ramblings, especially this episode. This was kind of a long one. It doesn't seem like that on the timestamp, but I spent hours recording this because I just kept deleting and taking back things I was saying because I felt like I was getting too off topic. So I'm satisfied with this, and I hope you all enjoy it and listen to it all the way through. And I guess with that, that concludes this episode. It was a long one, and I'm angry I didn't get to recap the Panthers one immediately. I couldn't get around to it, and I deeply apologize, and I will just try to be more on schedule next time. But as for the Saints matchup, it's going to be a good game. I hope and pray that everybody is healthy, no injuries, and every player just does his job well. That's all we can ask for. Just got to keep rolling, keep taking care of business, and get the job done. As always, thank you all so much for listening, and if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing this again very soon, and I'll have the next episode up within the next few days. But as always, go Pats. Thanks for listening.
Go Pats! Let's go!
We all we got. We all we need. I love you boys, man. On to the next game on 3. 1, 2, 3.